Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I appreciate you guys' feedback from the last video where I talked about state of the game probably coming back and being some sort of a potential way of communication from the developer. So that conversation, we're still going to keep having some conversations along the lines of those. But today's video is about Tom Clancy's XDefiant. The invites are actually going to start getting sent out. So I wanted to take this opportunity to ask and see who will want to play this game in the community, because there are people that want to play the game. I've seen comments from that perspective. I've seen some of the, sentiment as well of people who don't want to play the game at all. Now, here's the thing. Usually first reactions are interesting because I've noticed that they can change. So I'll give you some experience. I remember after the Division 1, there were a lot of people who swore on, all kinds of different elements and not exclusive to, parental or ancestral graves, that they were not going to play the Division 2. And then when the Division 2 came out, I saw most of those same, agents, or I would say audience members, complaining about issues in the Division game, the Division 2, and I was surprised. I think, I guess the surprise should not have been a thing because people can and do change their minds. So I think that's probably what we're going to be seeing. A few other things too is perhaps the potential drought in video games right now could be something that leads people to at least give this open test a trial. And I know, again, another pertinent issue that will probably be existing here, that's a huge conundrum that nobody wants to, necessarily deal with, is the fact that console players are not going to be getting these invites initially. And for those of us who've been in the Division ecosystem, who know the way these things work, for them to be able to get their console authorization, I think it takes about a couple of weeks or more, depending on the, manufacturer of the console and their different, I would say, obligations they have to fulfill. So usually it's easy for them to deploy things via their Ubisoft Connect system, which is just a direct Ubisoft to player pathway. So I think they're going to use that as an opportunity to just get the game out and get feedback, because that's the main thing. The feedback is what they're trying to get, because this is what they're going to use to fine tune this free to play game. I think Heartland, when they did their alpha, it was probably around the same, but they decided to go with a much more closed testing system and a much more NDA restrictive system. This test, on the other hand, the difference between this test and a test like the one for the Heartland game is that this test is more of a marketing opportunity. Ubisoft San Francisco, is trying something that is new, that is way far-fetched from the Division Tom Clancy, universe in a sense. That's why they named it XDefiant or whatever it is. And I think this is the area that they're trying to capture. So agents are going to be seeing, exactly what it is this game is about. And I think the game is probably at a place where, people will be able to make a sound judgment. If they're going to be doing it this way, I assume that they actually have something very solid to be able to show everybody. When I say solid in their minds, okay? May not be solid for the, rest of the community. And then furthermore, what does this actually, say about this particular genre that Ubisoft is willing to basically sacrifice a lot of the Tom Clancy reputation on this? Is there something that has been missed by even the initial reactions from gamers? Because I remember when XDefiant first, was revealed, I made a video asking who told Tom Clancy that we want this game. And I actually tried my best to answer that question, because within a lot of these Tom Clancy, games and audiences, they ask a lot of questions via surveys. And most of their surveys ask a lot of questions regarding what kinds of games players like, and they actually allow for you to be able to rank those games according to your, preference. So, maybe your most preferential to your least preferential. And I think over the years, they've taken this data and they've basically run with it. I remember one of the first of these surveys that I received was somewhere around 2016 as a Division player. And we thought that they were just asking these questions just, specifically for the Division game. But this is Ubisoft as a whole. This data collection, including the data collection that they've been actually implementing, say from the days where games started to have the online aspect where you just need to connect to the internet for them to be able to gather some information. I think this data may have pointed them onto something. Another thing as well, too, is there is a way to actually find out the amount of console players that are playing specific games using trophies on the PlayStation Network. This was a means that, Sony basically tried to hide or whatever it is, but this kind of got out there where somebody was able to find out if a player logs into a game, there's kind of a reporting of the amount of trophies that player has already achieved. And this is a way that people were able to use an API to garner what games players are playing. So this kind of statistics is basically also out there. So if players are jamming out to games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, or whatever these free, first person or free to play games are out there, I believe that somehow, the information is open for people to see exactly what games, are being prevalent or more preferred, I would say, by players out there. So I think this is where they're gathering all their information to continue to push even head on this conversation. In fact, one of the tweets that they put out there was, don't care what people say. There was somebody did an artwork for XDefiant. So the XDefiant Twitter said, I don't care what people say. This is a sick, poster art or something like that. So they're just moving ahead on, and they really, want to kind of showcase what it is that they have. Now, on a PvP side of things with the first person shooter, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep my attention. And this is me personally. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to play a game like this. For some of you, you might want to jump in head on. Some people have said they love the art, they love the direction, and some people will probably not touch it. But in the comment section, I'd love for you to go ahead and just indicate if you're going to be touching this game or if you're never going to be touching this game. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. If you want to sign up for it, just go ahead and look for where the signups are. And if you're on PC, you're going to probably get the first set of invites because it's right now only for PC anyways. Just as I said in the beginning of my video, I'll get out of your hair. Thanks so much. Peace out.